All right, we are looking at the if control structure. Now, in the if control structure, we have three parts of the if control. We have three items in the if control structure. We have the if then statement, we have the if then else statement, and we also have the if then else if statement. Now, to effectively control the Visual Basic 2010 program flow, we use the if control structure. For us to control the flow of the program of the code, we use this if control structure. Just like a traffic light is used to control the flow of traffic, to stop the car when they need to stop. So you see, there are basically three type of if control structure. Namely, we have the if then statement, we have the if then else statement, and we have the if then else if statement. So we are going to be looking at them one after the other. Now, the if then statement. Now we ask the computer to perform certain action specified by Visual Basic when the condition is true. So the if then statement works when you perform certain action when the condition is true. If the condition is false, no action will be performed. Just like the example we are seeing here, the only condition is if num1 is greater than num2, then message box, that means you are going to see, then if num1 is greater than num2, there's going to be alert, there's going to be a message box that will display that num1 is greater than num2. But let's assume num2 is greater than num1, nothing will display. Let's assume num1 is equals to number 2, nothing is going to display. So you see that the if then statement, it only executes a particular action only when a condition is true. If the condition is false, no action will be performed. Now we have the if then else statement. Now this asks the computer to perform certain action when the condition is true. However, if the condition is false, an alternative action will be executed. So it's unlike the other one. You see, is unlike if then. This one is if then else. So it's like if something like if the light is green, go. If the light is showing red, stop. So this is the if then else statement. Look at the example we have is if num1 is greater than num2, then you see there will be a display by the message box. Else, you see there will be another display. That means if num1 is not greater than 2, that means that is the else. That means else, if the condition is false, then the message box will display that okay, that means that num2 is greater than or equal to num1. So you see the if then else statement, it executes an action when the condition is true. However, if the condition is false, it will not just be there, another action will still be executed. So unlike the first one, only work when one condition is true, but the second if control structure, it works with two options. So when the condition is true, it executes a statement. When it is false, which is else, it executes an action. You understand what I'm saying? So now we go to the if then else if statement. Now this is when you have more than two alternative choice. You use the if then else if statement. You use it when the if then else statement is not enough. Just like you are seeing in the example, we have if number 1 is greater than number 2, then the message box will display number 1 is greater than number 2. Else, if number 1 is equals to number 2, then the message box will display number 1 is equals to number 2. Else, so else means that okay, if all the conditions that has been listed are false, okay, message box will display number 1, number 2 is greater than number 1. So you see that in this if then else if statement, you can write numerous else if, then at the end of all the number of else if you write, if any of them is not correct, you end it with else. So you understand? So the if then else if statement, it gives room to write a lot of options. So the final point is this if control structure, we use them together with conditional operators. if this is equals to this, if this is less than this, if this is greater than this. So you see the example of conditional operator that we use. We also use it together with logical operator. You can say, okay, if username is equals to let's say you created an account using your name and you created an account using your password. So you say if username is equals to the name you use and register, and password is equals to the password use and register, login, let the user log in, let his profile show. So you see that and is a logical operator. That and is a logical operator. Else, you can say else if username or password is incorrect, user denied access. So these are if control structure. Thank you very much for listening.